Greetings and salutation, my friends. Today I have a high rank matchup for you, Voodoo versus Joly on Via 3 Protectorate. It's been a while since I've seen this map played, but this is an open, spammy land map. Should be a very interesting matchup, to say the least. Hopefully we'll see some good plays and counters from these two guys. It is going to be a UEF versus Seraphim match, almost exactly head-to-head, dead even, with very similar playstyles on the factions. So I'm going to go ahead and bump up the speed here. We will get started and see where the game takes us. Real quick though, I'm going to take a peek at the build orders. Voodoo, first land, 2 P-gens, another row of P-gens, and then second air, picking up some manual reclaim in the rocks over here. Joly, first land as well, going to second land and third air, that looks like, with a lot of power to go on. And then he is using attack move. There's going to be a lot of reclaim available on this map. You can see there's rocks all over the place and a massive civilian complex in the center. Although I think this is a little bit deceptive. A lot of times these units are not worth a whole lot of mass, but that is going to be worth reclaiming, I would think. Although I think there's going to be more reclaim available in these areas than really in the center. Ruling the center is going to be more a matter of claiming all of those wonderful mass extractors than getting the actual reclaim. Joly is pushing out scouts, judging by the size of the tack ring on these ACUs. I'm going to call this a 10 by 10 map. Yes, this is 10 by 10. So we are going to see a good bit of airplay, hopefully. Maybe a drop here and there. Something to keep it entertaining. Alright, 1 scout and 1 tank to each side. That is going to cover the early expansion engineers. 2 bombers out for Voodoo, but he is holding them back. He has not been scouted yet. Here comes the scout from Joly, but I think by the time he gets over here, that is going to be far too late to prevent this from happening. We're going to have those bombers are going out to scout the expansions and make sure that there's no engineers coming in. Joly is going to scout the right side bomber and send an interceptor after it, but the left side bomber has been missed. Voodoo looping back around and nailing that engineer. Going to shut down that expansion, and then he is going to come back around. Joly not taking the initiative with those interceptors. He is going to lose another engineer and an engineer over here. That is going to delay this expansion as well. Voodoo off to a brilliant start. Not quite as far ahead on eco. Joly is outpacing him in that regard, but Voodoo is doing very well on securing map control. And that is always an important thing to do. Drops. Here we go. T1 UEF transport that is going to try to get away with some engineers, but here we have 3 interceptors coming in. If Joly, yes, he scouted that transport, he's going to send those interceptors in, and they are going to knock that thing right out of the sky. Yes, they are. There it goes. Poof. And Voodoo not going to get anywhere with that early transport. 3 tanks versus 3 tanks. Joly getting lucky on how that engagement turned out. I didn't see any particular micro by either player. It was pretty much just a run-in. Finally getting an engineer over here to the right side. Voodoo is now behind on expansion. Joly has all of his mass extractors locked down on his quarter of the map. Voodoo is just now, he needs to get one of these engineers over here on this max extractor. Pulling another drop to get his engineers out. That is going to be a radar for Joly. And then a drop down here. But that was 100% engineers. He's going to throw up a point defense. But he lost 3 of his engineers there. He will be safe, however. beautiful little run by right here in the north. He's going to peg 2 mexes with that, I think. Yes. Voodoo has moved on to pillars, though. Joly, I see a tier 2 support factory. I do not see any Ilshivas yet. There's a T2 engineer, and it looks like he's setting up his production, but he has not actually started producing tier 2 units. This is a little hairy. There's an Ilshiva. Joly has his ACU way out front. He does not have gun or T2, sitting on a base level comm. Joly currently has 21,000 reclaim. Back on top of the scoreboard again. Voodoo 25, gonna tip over right there. 25,000 reclaim. Huge amount of pillars and mongooses. That is brilliant. Also shifted to T2 air. He has a gunship up, and on his commander he does still have tier 1 with no gun. I would have thought by now we would have seen a attack missile upgrade, but apparently neither player is going that route. Voodoo securing the northern section, and then is also making a move on the south. There is not enough down here to deny this, and he has thrown up a land factory. All he needs is a couple of those tier 1 artillery to knock out that point defense, and Voodoo is going, or not Voodoo, Joly is going to be screwed as far as that goes. Gunship's making a play over here, but there was a flak. It has been killed. Joly deems it safe enough to bring in his gunships. They're going to do a pile of damage to that, and then the pillars are going to finish it off while the gunship moves back around. Joly's finally gotten T3 land on the ground. Those awesome T3 mobile shields and the pitiful T3 siege tanks. Voodoo is once again ahead on eco, and I am sure he is ahead on reclaim. I'm going to slow down for a second here. Gunships coming in to destroy those T2 mexes. That's going to be a hard hit. Joly sitting on 38,000, or Voodoo sitting on 38,000. Joly sitting on 35,000 reclaim. Gunships coming in, hitting the T2 power. 2 down. That is horrible. Oh, this hurts to watch. 3 down. He's got to do something. Flak coming out. 4. And he may get the 5th one as well. I'm amazed that Joly is still able to float power. Where is he getting this? Does he have... He must have... No, he doesn't have the first harass. He already had a T3P gen up. I'm staring right at it, and I'm not seeing it. Most Observant Caster of the Year award right here. Sniper bots and T3 mobile artillery to supplement those very, very sadly underranged T3 tanks. That was not as bad as I initially thought it to be, but it was bad nonetheless. Joly was able to get that T3 power generator up and actually not stall. It was a wise choice of targets by Voodoo, but I don't think he had seen that T3 power generator in the back until it was too late to go after it. But nonetheless, Voodoo is sitting on about 70% map control right now. I realize the actual land held is slightly less than that, but as far as how many mechs he now controls, Voodoo has the overwhelming advantage, and he is now resorting to eco sniping. Small raiding parties with his air, and now pushing Percival's north and south. Percivals are going to straight up wreck any of the Seraphim T3 land. Joly probably overproducing flak at the moment. That is So much mobile flak, and it's all in the same spot. I don't know why he's doing that. That is a little bit negligent. Probably set the factory queue and forgot about it. Alright, this is what you do not want to see when you're versus a strat launcher. At 21 minutes, Voodoo is confident enough in his map control that he is going to burn the mass on that nuke launcher. His eco is well balanced as usual. You would expect this of a 2000 ranked player. He is going to be able to build that nuke at maximum speed. He is also assisting it, so we're going to see that in about 4 minutes 20 seconds, somewhere in there, instead of the full 5 minutes that it normally takes. This is what you do not want to see when you're versus a UEF player. Joly is slowly regaining some of the map control on the right side, but I think he's going to lose it again, because here comes the T3 land. He has been able to push out ASF, vastly outnumbering Voodoo's ASF, and Joly is back in the lead on eco as well, pushing 267 mass income, tied up on power at 11k. UEF, there is a Yathatha. I do apologize, people. I should have seen that walking to the front. It is going to be able to clean up the last of that T3 army. Got busy talking and not paying attention. Shame on me. Where was I? UEF, you do not want to let them get to this stage, because the UEF T3 land is very, very powerful. The Percy is an absolutely brutal unit. Chickens stand absolutely no chance against a group of 15 or so Percivals. I forget what the mass equivalent number is on the Percys, but it is not that many, and they will wreck T4s. Joly getting some scouts out. He now has eyes on that nuke. Voodoo, that is where Joly got his eco. Joly has reclaimed about twice as much as Voodoo has. That comes from recovering territory here, and now he is moving up to wipe out the northern expansion for Voodoo. Voodoo pushing all of the Percivals that he possibly can in that direction, and Joly wisely retreating with that chicken. Does not want to take that matchup, but Voodoo is still able to hold the southern portion as well. He has so many Percivals down here. Just out of curiosity, going to click it out. That is 41 Percys on the map. I'm going to slow down just a minute. We're going to do some base analysis because I don't want to miss another development like that. Voodoo is about 95% on that nuke. Looking good and solid. No T4s in his plans, but when you have that many Percivals, why do you need them? Joly assisting his nuke defense for all it is worth, but there is no way he's going to get one loaded in time. He has a lot of strat bombers. Maybe he will use them to try and neutralize the situation, and he has built a second Yathatha. Here comes the nuke. I'm going to get this real quick before I see it. He is floating mass ever so slightly, so he is going to be building everything full speed, but sadly, run little commander run. This is a small map. You are just barely going to clear that nuke if you do at all. Nuke coming in. He has moved the strat bombers out of the way. He's going to lose 3 here. No, he's no, he's not. Just barely outside. Kaboom. Joly dropping down well below Voodoo's 267 mass income. He has lost most of his power, but I believe he has RAS. Here come the strats. Sam's taking out a lot of them, but yeah, he should have aimed for the nuke launcher. There is no way he's going to kill Voodoo with that. These two chickens working together, the AoE is a very useful feature versus groups of T3. There are not quite enough Percivals here. Between the siege tanks that were accompanying the chickens and the other units that were around them, those two are going to be able to mop up all of those Percivals. But here comes the other group coming northward, and I don't think those chickens will survive a second round. Joly, of course, getting back on the case as soon as he possibly can to get all of this eco rebuilt. He's throwing down power and another chicken as fast as he possibly can. Alright, the one advantage that T4 has over T3 is the same advantage that any higher tech unit has over the tech level below it. Even though the lower tiers have more damage and sometimes even more health cumulative than the tier above it, the higher tier you go, the more concentrated your mass investment gets. Meaning that in the same range, if you have 20 T1 tanks, their range is very limited, and it's hard to get all 20 firing on the same target. Whereas if you have, not sure what the ratio would be. Strap bombers coming in here, trying to wipe out enough Percivals that these chickens have a chance. I'm trying to remember my mass numbers. Rhinos are in the, I think, 400 mass range, something like that. So that would be roughly 8, or pillars, I'm sorry. That would be roughly 8 strikers. So, yeah, probably about 16. So 3 strikers, or 3 pillars, the tier 2 tanks, would have the same mass cost as roughly 22, 23 strikers, but the 3 pillars are going to be very, very good at getting a target in the range at the same time. So you're concentrating your firepower, and that's what happens when you have these Yathothas. This is so much mass concentrated in one tiny little spot, and you have all of that damage potential and all of that health, and they are going to be able to concentrate a ton of damage on one small area without having the pathfinding issues and the slowly degrading firepower of a group of T3. That is the other thing. You have your full damage as long as both units are alive. It doesn't matter how much health these lose. They could both be on 500 health each, and they would have the same damage potential as 2 brand new ones. On the other hand, T3, as you lose health, you lose units, and that means you lose damage as well. So you have a slowly degrading line of firepower, which is why the 2 Yathothas together were able to take out that many Percivals. That is a very long and rambly explanation of something that some of you might not find interesting, but I had the opportunity for long ramblies and I took it. And that looks like it's going to be game for Voodoo. Unfortunately, the 2 chickens together were able to clean up all of those Percivals with the help of some strap bomber strikes from Joly. That was actually a beautiful recovery. A lot of people, upon seeing that nuke, would have a complete panic attack and they would mess up and fail. Joly, on the other hand, got his ACU out of the way, started recovering his eco as soon as possible, and did everything in his power to push forward on Voodoo's position slowly and methodically. And that is how you win as Supreme Commander. Excellent comeback, Joly. Voodoo throwing out the good game. Well played. That was well played by both players. I love seeing that much T3 and that much good solid unit use. Very well done, both of you people. Alright, that is going to wrap it up for this cast. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. As always, please send me replays of any games that you have that are worth casting. You can leave them in the comments below. You can message me on YouTube, or you can message me on the forums or the FAF client. Alright, I will see you guys in the next cast.